Hey, what's going on, guys? Hope everybody's doing well and having a great day. In this video, we're going to revisit yesterday's video over here in Norway that was sent in by Christian. I want to show you guys how I analyzed this video and how I arrived at the information that I did when I presented it to you guys yesterday. I didn't just kind of grab this information out of thin air. I'll show you guys how I compared these lights up in the sky with lights on the ground that I know are an exact distance apart, and I compared them to the lights in the sky. But we'll come back and take a closer look at that here in a moment. Also in this video, we're going to Southbury, Connecticut. Chris and his friend noticed some very unusual lights in the nighttime sky right here north of New Haven in Connecticut. We're going to come back and take a look at that video footage here in a moment, but first we're going over to California. Are these birds trying to tell us something? More birds during the overnight hours, and we heard them over here in Arizona too, and it makes me wonder if these birds are trying to tell us something, because here in the last 90 minutes there was yet another earthquake in northern Arizona, albeit small, but that's an earthquake in Arizona. That's rare, and that's the third earthquake we've had in northern Arizona in around a week. A 2.6 at 3.1 miles deep at 10:01 a.m. today. That just occurred, and there's an ongoing swarm in northern California that's currently underway right now as I do this video. And then we have these birds over here that are making all kinds of racket in Elk Grove, California, which is 120 miles south of the earthquake swarm in northern California. This has some narration. This video footage was sent in by Sheila. Here we go.
It's 12 o'clock in the morning, 12:17. We got birds chirping away. Birds don't sing at night. They're asleep. They're nesting.
This video footage is from last night out of Elk Grove, California. And she's exactly right. Those birds were being very loud for 12:17 a.m. And again, that video footage was from last night. And we heard the birds over here in Arizona in southeast Phoenix last night. In fact, my son woke up last night at around midnight because the birds were so loud in the backyard. And when I woke up at 4 o'clock in the morning, I heard them chirping in the backyard. So the birds were noisy over here in Arizona as well. And we just had another earthquake in northern Arizona. So again, it makes you wonder, are the birds trying to tell us something? Coming over here to the homepage of the website, checking in on the GOES X-ray flux over here at the Space Weather Prediction Center. No major solar flares in the last 48 hours. Checking in on the power outage situation over here at poweroutage.us. 26,353 customers in Texas without electricity. Those outages are from inclement weather. Hopping over to the Yellowstone supervolcano caldera, looking at the seismographs that monitor the mighty supervolcano. A little bit of activity up here in the northwestern quadrant. All of those red lines represent earthquake signatures, and the dark blue represents magma intrusion. So a little bit of activity at the supervolcano caldera, and still activity up here in northern California. The earthquake swarm continues. It's slowed down considerably. The orange circles represent earthquakes in the last 24 hours, so not near as active as it was, but however, it is still active. I want to take you guys now to Southbury, Connecticut. Video footage submitted by Chris. Video footage is less than 48 hours old, and it too has narration.
No, that's the going.
No, because I just saw one.
Look at that. There it is again.
And there's one all the way over there. Look at this one. Right there. Look at that big one.
Is that Starlink? What is that?
Boo, it's everywhere. There's more over here.
What? No. Are you sure? Are you sure? Yeah. Yo, Sam.
And you can tell by the tone of Chris's voice, he was very taken back by what he was seeing here in the nighttime sky above Southbury, Connecticut. Almost some sort of a small invasion of mysterious lights in the nighttime sky. And there were multiple witnesses. He had someone with him that was also pointing out multiple random lights in the sky that just looked out of place. They weren't airplanes or helicopters, just some sort of mysterious light. And notice this light here looks like one solid point of light. And there very well could be multiple lights there, but it's so far away, and it's not really that far away. That's probably, I would say, somewhere in the neighborhood of 4,000 to 5,000 feet in the sky. And again, they were seeing multiple lights. Here's the first light that he saw right here that got his attention, and then they started seeing other lights as well in the nighttime sky above Southbury, Connecticut around 9:28 p.m., and that video footage is from May 12th of 2023. I want to take you guys now back over to Norway, and I want to show you guys how I analyze this video footage of this object in the sky in the video that I shared with you guys yesterday. I want to show you how I ruled out that it was not a reflection. Nothing over here is green and nothing over here is flashing. These lights are green and they're flashing, so that right there would rule out any type of reflection. And whenever I analyze lights in the sky above a city, that's the very first thing I do. You have to rule out the reflection possibility, because lights on the ground, and there's a lot of them here, they can contaminate the video and cause reflections in the video that aren't necessarily something in the sky. This here's something in the sky. There's nothing over here green and there's nothing over here flashing. And if there were one reflection up here, there would be multiples, because there's a lot of lights over here that could have caused reflections, and they did not. Number two, I want to show you guys how I arrived at the potential size of this craft. It looks to be pretty decent size because it doesn't appear to be one point of light. And what I did, I used the lights here in the foreground on these buildings as a gauge to maybe gauge how big this thing is. This building right here is closer to the point of view over here than this object is here. Buildings are built with the same code. Each floor of a building or a house is 10 feet. Notice the light here above my mouse. This is like the 9th floor of this building. The light above it is the floor above it. So that would be floor number 10. So that right there would be 10 feet apart. Those two lights are 10 feet apart. Those lights are closer together than those lights are there. And that's farther away. So that would tell us that these lights are farther apart than 10 feet. Possibly because they're farther apart than those lights are. So that right there is how I arrived at the possible size of this thing. And a Cessna airplane, the wingspan of a Cessna airplane is around 27 feet wide. So based off of what we know about buildings and how far apart each floor is, being 10 feet, those lights being farther away, so you would think they would have to be at least 10 feet apart, possibly farther. So if they were that big, that would be about half the size of a Cessna airplane. That craft would have to be registered with the local airport because they would want to monitor it on radar to keep it free and clear of any other airplanes that could possibly be in the area. This is more to me than just some novelty type of drone that you would buy online and use as a hobby. It looked to be pretty good size. And then one more thing about the reflection, to rule it out just completely, it's moving faster than the object over here. Watch, you're going to see it take off, and it's moving much faster than what we're dealing with over here. Watch it take off from 0, and then there it goes. This thing over here is moving very slow. That was moving at a pretty good clip. And some people asked about how fast it was moving. If I had to guess, I would say based off of what we have to work with here, this thing took off from 0 to probably 100 in around 2 seconds. So I would say it was at least going 100 miles an hour in 2 seconds. And see how the lights are blinking and they're all the same color of green? There's nothing over here in the foreground that's green, and there's nothing over here blinking. So it's clearly not a reflection. Even though that does happen, I completely agree. That is always a possibility. But that's not the case here. That's something different. Exactly what it is, I'm not 100% sure, but I know it's not a reflection. And based off of what we know about buildings, each floor being 10 feet, those windows are 10 feet apart, and they look to be closer together than these lights here, and these lights here are farther away. So I just wanted to offer some clarity, guys. That's how I analyzed that video from yesterday. And today's feature photo was sent in by James out of Ira, Michigan, of a strange beam of light that he and some other people noticed from Ira, Michigan, looking south out over Lake St. Clair. Just a mysterious beam of light spotted in the nighttime sky. Thank you, James. Greatly appreciate that. If you guys have any photos you'd like to share, you can send those to reports@MrMBB333.com. If you guys have any videos you'd like to share that are too large to attach to the email, come over here to the homepage of the website, look for this red tab that says Have a Large Video. Simply click on the red tab, drag and drop your video into the red banner. Please include your first name, date, and location, and I'll take it from there. Thanks for watching. Have a super day, and be safe out there.